Everyone, in this video we're going to cover auto summary. So auto summary, all it does is it will take specific routes that we have subnetted and then we'll just put them back into supernets. And supernets are just the opposite of subnetting. So instead of having a bunch of networks, let's just show here. So instead of having 172.16.0.0/16, we subnet it down to 172.16.1.0/24, 172.2.0/24, and these are the networks that we're doing right now. 3.0/24. Supernetting is just putting all this back into one route of this. So supernetting is the opposite of subnetting. You're going in the other direction. You're trying to summarize with the least amount of routes possible all the networks that you have subnetted. So that is what auto summarization does, is it will summarize your routes for you. So instead of having 3 specific routes, we now just have 1. So let's check it out real quick. So these are already configured. Let's do a show run. We have our interfaces, we have our end user networks, we have our EIGRP configuration. There's no summarization going on right now. When we do a show IP route, we see we have our 2 networks right here to the 2 end networks on the other routers. So .1 goes to router 1, .2 goes to router 2, .3 goes to router 3. And that's the 172.16.2's .3's. Same here. Show IP route. You see all the other networks right here, right here. Show run, it's the same as the other router, just the interfaces, and then the EIGRP configuration. Router 3, much the same. Interfaces and the EIGRP configuration. And show IP route. We can see that we can see our networks 1 and 2 right here. You can go to our end devices, look at configuration. All end devices are whatever the third octet is, so 1, 2, or 3, and then .10. Being 172.16, 2.10, that is router 2's network, this PC over here. So I can ping it, that's good. Now let's try the other one. This is going to be on router 3's network, so PC2 over here. I can ping that as well. So I can ping all my end devices. Now let's go ahead and add summarization. Oops, router EIGRP 10. Auto summary. Let's just do it to all of them. EIGRP 10, auto summary. Router EIGRP 10, auto summary. All right. So now let's just see our routes. Show IP route. I can see that I have this right here. That's it. I know which ones are my EIGRP routes because they're the ones that have a D on the left here. I can see I just have the one route. I don't see .2, I don't see .3, I don't see any other networks besides my one summarization route. Check here. Show, do show IP route. Same thing. All I'm seeing is my summarization. And of course, router 3 is going to be much the same. Do show IP route. Once again, that's all I see. I don't see the networks for router 1 or router 2. There we go. So try to ping 3.10. Destination unreachable. Try to ping 2.10. Destination unreachable. Why is it unreachable? Because each router is summarizing their networks. So each router is saying, for anything 172.16.0.0/16, send it my way. Well, the problem is, we took that subnet and we subnetted it over here into smaller subnets to fit our network needs. So that is the problem with auto summarization, is that we'll summarize all the networks and say into a classful summarization and say send it to me. So if we change things around, let's just say we have all 172.16s on router 1, all 192.168s on router 2, all 10.0s on router 3, that would work fine if we had everything classically organized. But that's not how networks work, and so that's why we disable auto summarization. Config T. Oops, config T, there we go. Router EIGRP10, EIGRP10, no auto summary. I just want to point out real quick, do show run. You'll see it in the configuration, no auto summary. Do show run. You'll see that it's no longer there because on a router, summarization is disabled by default. And so it's not going to show up in the running configuration. That's an oversight on Cisco's part. I think they should include it so that way you know that it's there, that's being disabled. But if you don't see it when you run the configuration, that's because it's been disabled. Now let's go ahead and see. Do show IP route. We still can't see anything because we have no other routers that are advertising just their networks. So no auto summary. Show IP route. We're starting to see networks. Then we have this route here saying, I just send all 172.16 networks to me, and that's router 3. Try to ping again. Let's go back to that one. 2.10, I'm able to ping that. Try to ping 3.10. I can ping that now too. Now the reason why I can ping 3.10, even though it's still summarizing, is because all the other routers are not. So that is it for summarization.